we'll move along, try to get in and out of here. We had a couple of items that were of interest that we needed to get dealt with today, and otherwise we would have probably foregone this meeting and waited till next month. But did everyone get a copy of the minutes of the previous meeting? Does anybody have any corrections? Do I have a motion that we approve those as mailed?
I make the motion.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Like sign. I want to welcome some folks here today. We've got Nathan Woods with Tennessee Economic Community Development, and I understand that Lynn Tully will possibly be joining us later on.
She should be on her way, yep.
We've got Ronnie Price with Networks, Jeff Bobo with Kingsport Times News, Calvin Clifton, I know, just walked in. Calvin, you're welcome to go ahead and serve yourself. And Nancy Barker with the Chamber. Have I forgot anybody? I think that's covered everyone. Okay, moving right along, we've got the report of Secretary Treasurer, Rebecca, if you would go over that.
September 24th, 2020, we had a balance in checking of $21,674.92. We had $143.49 deposit from RMC, a $1,500 deposit from TBA, and our two deposits for interest for September and October. Then we had a few checks. We had 2 checks to U.S. Bank for Visa activity, 1 check to the Hawkins County General Fund, and that was for the RMC electricity bill that they had given us the reimbursement for, and that was for $143.49. Giving us a balance in checking today of $22,415.02, and then we have a CD at Civis Bank of $6,230.99.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on the financials for Rebecca? Hearing none, do I hear a motion that we accept these for our records? I've got Bill Lyons, second. Appreciate it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving right along. You'll notice that you saw that $1,500 one-time COVID grant from TVA. They had advised us that since their travel is down considerable during this COVID time and everything, and they thought that possibly they would share their savings with different groups, and so they awarded us $1,500 if we came up with a good plan to use it, and we decided that
The large sign at the fifth spin at the intersection there, where you go into the fifth spin off of the old highway there, someone had knocked that sign down with their vehicle, and so we needed to replace it. We didn't have really a mess, so now TVA's give us this bonus, which was a good opportunity to replace that sign. So we'll be replacing that sign with those funds.
we're always much appreciative of TVA and their efforts to help us in so many different ways, and this is just one of them. I'm gonna call on Calvin Clifton to kind of bring us up to speed on lots 17 and where we're at on all that, and then another issue that we'll get some help from Calvin on.
Thank you, Larry. Just want to give everyone an update on our projects. Number one project obviously is the Lot 17 due diligence, and we worked that into phases so we could tackle those in a in order so that we didn't get any surprises. So we didn't get too far into the process and then have an issue come up that would make further development too expensive or have too many issues that we didn't want to get to a point of no return, in other words. So I'm just going to go through these real quick. The first one is the Threatened and Endangered Species Survey. That has been complete, and the bat survey was not required per the species investigation, and that's really based on the time of year. So that's been completed. We'll wait to get the report back from that, as well as Phase 2A, the Cultural and Archaeological Survey. That work actually began Monday of this week, and pending the results, then we'll determine if there's additional a Phase 2 survey is required. So we'll hopefully we'll know something here in the next probably the next 30 days on that. The water supply study, we've referred to that as a hydraulic study with First Utility District and Rogersville Utility District. All the data collection and the mapping, we've got all that together, and we're now in the early stages of entering all that information into the computer to build the hydraulic model. Once the model's complete and evaluated, we'd be able to see what would be required to make upgrades to those systems to better serve the entire park, not just Lot 17, but the entire park. The other phases are kind of waiting on these previous phases to be complete, and I'll just name those real quick. The relocation and feasibility of relocating the drainage ditch, relocating the sanitary sewer, the ancillary area assessments, which is the borrow area that would be used to fill the ditch, and also the rail route number 4. All of that work will be completed in phases once we get through these first 2. And then the geotech of that area, and then eventually the site grading plan for all those improvements. So that's kind of where we're at on the Lot 17. We're just really just getting started, getting these studies out of the way, and as we learn more about those, then we'll move further into the other what I call the other big ticket items that would require a lot more engineering, planning, and eventual grading. And then with regard to the water improvements that we're making for the Rogersville Utility District, all the plans and specifications have been approved by TDEC and the Utility District. Right now, we're waiting for environmental review. Once we get the environmental documents all approved, then we'll go out to bid for those, and that's kind of where we're at. I'm happy to answer any questions y'all might have.
Does anyone have any questions of Kevin on that? Kevin has been, along with the whole group at Matter and Craig, have been so helpful in getting all of this done for us. And we're moving along. I want to thank the state ECD folks with their grant money and TVA that's helping to pay for all this. And it's just been great the way things have been going. Calvin brought up about the Rogersville Utility District water situation. We've got all that under control. I've signed all the paperwork today and got it notarized to go back. So all of the transfer of ownership of the lines and the tank and all that's being worked out and signed off. It's already been approved by the Rogersville Utility Group, and we're much appreciative of their efforts and all that they've done in getting this thing finalized. And like I said, we've got some ongoing efforts in that regard with the Rogersville and the First Utility District in showing up the amount of water flow that's available there at the park. So Calvin and them have been immensely helpful in that regard. We've got one thing, I guess, left, and that's Mundette. There's some right-of-way issues with the road and the water lines coming there that crossed over into, and we failed to get that on their deed. And so we're in the process of trying to get that finalized, and, I guess we can blame Ronnie for that instead of somebody else. This goes back a long ways.
30 years.
30 years of not getting that on their deed, and so we hope there won't be any issues with that, but, Kevin, we really appreciate the help that he's.
I just focused on the big picture stuff.
Yeah, we.
You don't blame that on Cal.
Yeah. But, anyway, we're so glad that we've gotten to that point, so, it's really good, to report that we are moving along on that thing, and, you know, with all this COVID thing, and I know that a lot of industries and businesses are reluctant to make the move right now, and so I think that by the time, you know, I noticed there's one other, drug manufacturer that came out this morning that they've developed another vaccine, so we've actually got 3 companies that have vaccines that they'll start rolling out, and hopefully by the time, if Lord's willing, we can get through this COVID thing, we'll be ready to go with, Phipps Bend with a big project, so hopefully, the timing should be right on that. Along that same line, you know, last month we talked a little bit about the ZF, closing. The TRW plant here in Rogersville, and I want to thank again Lynn, Tully with ECD, and Ronnie, and Rebecca, and the ones that went down and actually met with the folks to see if there's anything that we can do, and to kind of get an update for our benefit, and so that took place this week, and I guess the long and the short of that is there's not a whole lot. This decision was made on an international basis, and you know, it all comes down to economics, and this particular plant, I guess the facilities and things that is kind of going out of date, and so I think they're building new plants in different places to pick up the slack for what they produced here, and it's just unfortunate. It's just one of those things that happens, and it makes us realize that we are in a national or international market, especially in automobile production, and you know, all the talk about bringing the jobs back into the United States is not materializing like I think that some people thinks that it should or would, but that's just what it is. But I appreciate all the effort that Lynn has done on our behalf, and we're most appreciative of that. I don't know, is there any report or anything on that we need to bring up?
Lynn, do you want to say anything on that?
Just, we are staying in touch with the directors there to kind of see what's going to happen with, you know, what the future is for that building. It is a little bit of an older building, and so there's some maintenance that has to be done, but, you know, as things happen, we'll keep working with their corporate structure to see what they want to do to dispose of it, and so we'll keep looking. We'll market it. I mean, Ronnie's in charge of that.
Maybe the summertime, maybe know what for sure that we're gonna do with the building. And the building they're building in Mexico is a little behind schedule, complete net. Is that right? Because of the COVID and everything. So these jobs will probably be there till the end of next year at least.
Right. Well, it's, And like I say, we'll keep up and try to stay in touch with them, I guess, to see when they will be vacating the building and possibly we'll have a building to offer, I guess. The problem, as I was quoted, I guess, in the paper, is that you're talking about a building that's over 40 years old, and it's got some issues. It's got a brand new roof on it, as I understand.
Yeah.
But anytime a manufacturing facility of that size and someone that would want something of that size, it's going to be, they need certain things. They need water pipes and electricity and things run every which way, and they won't do that on their own plans rather than somebody else's. So buildings like that are very difficult to market.
There's a lot of office space.
A lot of office
Back
space.
when they moved that engineer
That's
division.
actually built for a paper company, unit, wasn't it?
Burlington Industries actually built the shell of the building.
Main part, for brick. We didn't tour it, because of COVID, so I'm not being, none of us got to go back there. We just sat in one office.
But I'd like to say again, I appreciate the effort that everybody's put into this thing. It's sad, but it is what it is. Another interesting fact, and I guess I hadn't read about this in the paper, Jeff, so you'll be the first to break the news on this, that Barrett Industries in Bulls Gap, one of the largest employers in Hawkins County, has been sold. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. They were bought out by Torquest Partners and Caisse de Depot El Placement de Quebec.
Good job.
Pardon my French.
Will you go over it just a little bit slower?
Yeah. But we've got the announcement. I received a call from
I don't see how you do on that.
Mr. Williams. He said that we had been so good to them through the years and through their process that they didn't want me to read about it in the paper. And obviously, I got the call, I guess, week before last, and we did some research on it and found out who's buying it. Eve Barrett, who owns Barrett Industries, has been a very good friend of ours, especially with Ronnie through the years, and they wanted us to know that they're going to keep the plant open and just, Eve, I guess, what age would you say he'd be?
I would say close to 75 to 80 would be my guess.
Yeah, and so I don't think his kids wanted to keep the business going, and so I think he's kept some ownership of it, but the majority of will be with these new investors. And according to what they told me, that they were involved with the sale of the business, and so they got to actually pick who they want to sell to and interview them. I think they had like 26 different companies or partnerships looking to buy it. This is a huge operation. I think they've got 7 plants, Canada and the United States and around. And so,
Jersey's got big presence in New Jersey.
yeah, the big one in New Jersey that, we were involved with that deal. And so anyway, they're gonna keep operations going here. Had the best year that they've ever had last year. The best year they've ever had. So it's a good time to sell, I'm sure. But they assured us that they will keep everything going as planned, even with the new ownership. And so we're excited when something like this happens, and we're not announcing a closing or a shake up of, current management. They're planning on keeping, you know, most, if not all of the current management people, so we think this will be a good thing for Hawkins County. They're still, you know, got issues that we've been talking about a road over there for them for, you know,
30
Long
years,
time.
at least 30
I
years.
remember Governor Bradis going all the way back to him, meeting them over there and driving to the plant and then from the plant on into Rogersville and seeing the extent of the traffic on that road and how bad it was, and everybody agreed that it needed attention, but 30 years later, and I guess it's been close to that long, we still don't have anything going, so it's just unfortunate for them. And I was just over there within the last week, and it's amazing the 18-wheel traffic on that road, and so it's something that needs to be dealt with. And the new owners may not be as apologetic as Mr. Barrett was in dealing with it, so we'll see how that goes. But I appreciated the call from them and telling us how much they appreciated the industrial board and what we had done for them through the years. So, do we need to vote on that water tank issue? All that's been taken care of, and so that was our main reason for meeting today, because we really needed to get that covered. Another sad note, I guess, Gene Christian, who's been a long time board member here at the Hawkins County Industrial Board, and brought a wealth of talent, and you know, from his previous life, I guess in construction work and things like that, was a very valuable employee, but his health has deteriorated, and he has submitted his resignation because of his health issues and things, and he said that he had just reached a point where his contributions could not be met for the board, and so he has resigned effective today. So we'll be dealing with that, I guess, as time goes on. My understanding on the other two board members that were approved by this board to submit to the county commission
Monday night,
they'll be voted on, and so hopefully we can get through that. Welcome them maybe at our next. Have they been invited to the December
I have.
meeting? Okay. So maybe we'll get to meet them. I noticed a new face just came in. Was that Brooks?
Yes, sir.
Brooks Camp with Bird's Eye Renewable Energy, and we're glad to have Brooks with us. And we're gonna be meeting with him afterwards, discussing some issues. But they've been a very good partner up there, and if you've been by to see the solar farm, they do a great job with that, and really good company to work with. Does anybody else have anything? Lynn, do you have anything from the state that we need to be aware of?
Not at this point. We've got several different things that the governor covered in his briefing. I guess it was day before yesterday, and mostly around just COVID testing availability. So know that they'll have extended hours next week, so that those who are planning on having folks over and whatnot can have their tests and have some results before their family gets there, hopefully, so that they can cancel plans if necessary. Just be careful, y'all.
It is scary times. I've never seen as many Hawkins County's really getting up there with a lot of other areas now with the number of reported cases every day, so it's sad. Ronnie with Networks,
Yeah, I talked to Michael this morning, he submitted, Fifth's been on 3 projects in the last couple of weeks. One of them was a TVA kind of was lead, it's a big power user, it's a code name, I can't even remember the name. Rick, but it was a huge power load and everything. And we actually showed the spec building to this company from California,
oh, okay.
that was looking to relocate.
Oh, okay.
So, and then as far as the region, it's kind of, I guess Lynn would slow down a little bit.
It's
Probably
slowed
not
down
gonna-
after the election a little bit.
Probably gonna, something will, I think, will come out probably like the first of the year. Richard Venables, his task force, and they're looking at working with, First Tennessee Development District on kind of doing some things, so I think he'll have his report done then. And as far as the private sector side, I don't know, I don't think the networks, net rep thing, that kind of fell, fizzled out. And
Usually, my
food
guess-
processing is still very out there, people still gotta eat, so I think you're gonna see that.
Okay, yeah. All right, Rebecca, you have anything?
Just wanted to update everybody on, I will be applying for the TBA partnership funding once again this year. Nancy and I have completed the community livability project, and we'll be getting a news release out in the next few days for that. We've also, been doing the Tennessee Smart Start, and I'll let her kind of tell you what that's about. And then we finished the Retail Academy, and I've also been on a couple of opportunities on webinars. So even though we've not had a whole lot of travel or anything, I'm still doing a lot through the webinars and stuff, which I'm really, really tired of. Nancy, if you want to kind of tell them about the Tennessee Smart Start.
All right, it's kind of new to us too. It's a program through the Tennessee Department of ECD, and we're working it through the Main Street program and the Industrial Board and the Chamber. It's a lot of entrepreneur opportunities. It's opportunities to find out. It's got a lot of valuable information through their websites, and they will help us. There's maybe some grant opportunities also available. We've done our one webinar, and so we've got a couple more to do, and so we're still kind of learning exactly what we're going to do. But to go ahead and list us on their site will give us a little bit of clout as people are looking for information. And then also Rebecca and I are working with First Tennessee Development District to do a wage survey.
Yes, I forgot to mention that.
So I think that will be valuable as we move forward too.
So are we going to do it?
We're working with them. to do
Yeah,
it.
Mark Stevens with the Development District is
Oh,
actually
okay.
going to conduct it. He's got a company that has done several in this region, and so he wanted to do one specifically for Hawkins County, and then
We haven't done one in many years.
Right.
So it's a good opportunity to do that.
Will y'all share those results or be able to, or do you know at this point?
yes, and he'll be able to share them through the Development District also.
Great, thank you.
Okay, is that,
That's it. We've got the Christmas dinner on December the 10th. If you haven't turned in your menu selection card to me, get that to me.
if they don't turn it in, give them a cheese sandwich.
That's exactly right. Get a cheese
Real
sandwich.
cheesy, but
It ain't usually grilled. It's just gonna be plain bread and cheese.
Time 6 or
6. Yeah, 6. At Hill Springs Inn.
Okay.
that's one of those jailhouse meals.
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, they don't even wrap theirs.
Does anyone else have anything for the good of Hawkins County? Hearing none, I appreciate again, all of our visitors with us, and like I say, following this meeting, we'll sit down with Brooks and talk about that, and
I make a motion with adjourn.
so moved.
Thank you.